Hello, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about 7 things you need to know about dreams. And we're going to jump right in. So, dreams and the subconscious are 2 topics that are very dear to my heart and that I work with regularly. And so I'm really excited to talk about the topic of dreams. So, first off, when we dream at night, we go into the subconscious. So what we need to know, number 1, is that this is the subconscious world. And only 4 to 8% of us is in our conscious, waking, moment to moment thought world. A huge amount of what drives us, our impulses, are coming from the subconscious, a place where we can't see unless we are in the dream world, unless we're in the plant medicine space, unless we're really good at meditating. Sometimes we get glimpses into our subconscious at times of crisis or illness or transition. When people around us might be dying, there is this kind of liminal space where we can get a little bit more information from the subconscious. But the easiest way, if you are a dreamer or you're developing your dream work, is to find out what's going on in the subconscious through dreams. So the subconscious doesn't speak to us normally in language like the English language. The language of the subconscious is often in images, colors, symbols, characters, flashes of information. Some people can feel, smell, taste, and sense in their dream, but it's not linear. It's very fluid. And usually it's not about the whole story of the dream. And usually not everything you see in the dream is important. There's usually a few really important symbols or essences that you can take out of it. So the language is not linear. It's not like reading a book, and it's not supposed to be. So if your dreams are all over the place and confusing, that means you're just operating in the subconscious. And all that needs to be done is figuring out a little bit more about the language of your own dreams and developing your own interpretation system. So it's a space of non-judgment. So we leave our ego behind, which we'll talk about a little bit more in this video. The ego is always characterizing things as good or bad, safe or scary. But in the dream state, we leave that ego judgment programming system behind, and we get the raw truth. Not necessarily someone else's truth, but a truth about our own life. And that's why it's so nice, because it's unfiltered and it's a place of non-judgment. We get a break from our own judging mind, and we can get to know parts of our hidden identity. With ongoing dream work, we can figure out little dreams we had as children that we came in with that were lost in our programming. We can get those back. So there's a lot of gems in the subconscious. When we do our shadow work, we're working with the subconscious world of dreams. And it's also full of difficult things that we don't want to face. Our ego does not want to face in daily life. So dreams can be really beautiful with like hidden surprises, or they can be really difficult, us facing sensations or memories that we would rather not face. But in the dream world, we're shown from our soul exactly what we need to see. So whether we want to see it or not, we are shown things from the subconscious. And just a little bit more about the subconscious. Teacher Kat Courtney talks about the 4 C's of the subconscious. One is chemical, which is referring to, drugs or plant medicines or something that we ingest to bring us into contact with the subconscious. Number 2 is cultural, so meditation, breath work, sweat lodge, chanting, any practices that take us out of our ego and take us into the subconscious. Clinical, so an illness, a heart attack, maybe an accident, where we are in that liminal space, we might get information or an out-of-body experience, allowing us to head into a subconscious space. And crisis, sometimes we're just in a pressure cooker of some sort, and our dreams are enhanced. We might daydream or get flashes or images or messages from our subconscious. We're just a little bit more vulnerable and open during a crisis. And that's why we see a lot of people go through a crisis and radically change their life, change the direction of their life forever, because they were met in one way or another, even if it's just impulses or ideas, the subconscious kind of breaks through to the conscious mind and gives guidance or inspiration about what to do or where to go next. Number 2 is it's all good information. It's all good information, even if we don't want to see it. So people can have dreams if, for example, they used to be in a really toxic relationship and they're totally over the relationship. They can get a lot of dreams about their ex. People who have gotten themselves out of addiction might have addiction dreams where they're using a substance or doing a behavior that they've long left behind. Some people can find themselves in a dream and be feeling extremely vulnerable and childlike. And these might be really difficult and uncomfortable, but it's all good information because it's showing us that our soul feels that we are mature enough to be processing this stuff out. And people can go for many years having recurring dreams of some of these things that they've left behind in the physical life, but there are just tendrils and threads that are being cleaned out of the subconscious. So this is wonderful because every time we have one of these dreams, even if it doesn't seem like we're making progress, we're cleaning it up a little bit more. It's coming from the subconscious into our awareness in the dream, and then we're waking up with it in conscious life, and we're able to kind of like clean it out. Because something that I learned at actually at Rhythmia at a plant medicine retreat was what's coming is going. What's coming is going. And this is important for dream work. It's important in plant medicine work. It's important in meditation to know that difficult and traumatic memories, when they show up in our awareness from our subconscious into our conscious, it's not something to feel bad about or shameful or embarrassed. It's literally coming in so that it can go out. So never forget that what's coming is going, especially if you're having difficult recurring dreams about your past. And it may be annoying, but it's just a full process of intense situations so that it's cleaned up and it's cleaned out and you get more space. And then anything from those memories or situations is no longer going to be driving your decision making from the back, because like I said, in the subconscious, it drives a lot of our impulses and decision making without us even knowing it. So it's something to really celebrate if you're processing out old stuff, even if it's over and over. Number 3 is you will, with time, and maybe you already have, develop your own system of interpretation. I remember when I first started trying to understand and interpret my dreams, I was on Google a lot. What does this animal mean spiritually? What does this flower mean spiritually? What does this tree mean spiritually? I saw it in my dream. I want to understand. I think this is an amazing way to start because we can learn so much. We have a collective, kind of like a collective library of symbols that have general meanings. So if a person or a tree or an animal comes to you in your dream and it doesn't have any immediate significant meaning for you, looking up what that actually symbolizes on the internet can be a great starting point. And later on, you might keep that interpretation. It might belong to you, or you might develop your own meaning, especially if you've got, say, a recurring dream about a recurring animal. You might really dive into learning more about what that animal means for you beyond what it means for the general population. When we see people in our dream from our daily life or from our past, it might be a dream actually about that person, but more likely it's actually a dream where that character is representing a quality, a energy, a role in your life. I often have dreams of people that I've known in my regular life, but they're actually spirit guides. And I didn't understand this at first because sometimes it would be like a deceased aunt or a teacher I used to have, and yet they had this kind of regal, sage-like quality, this kind of sparkling quality to them. And I realized later on, once I was a little bit more into dream interpretation, that these were not actually representing my aunt or my teacher. These were actually spirit guides that were coming to help heal me, give me a message, give me encouragement. And they were showing up in the figurines of people that I trusted and I looked up to, in order for me not to be alarmed and frightened in the dream by somebody that seemed really foreign. Now, that's just personal to me. But when we see someone in our dream, another example is I had a dream with a camp counselor, and an old camp counselor. And it's more important when we have a dream like that to think, like, what does the camp counselor represent to me? How did I feel when I was talking to the camp counselor? And after I dove into that a little bit, I realized this was somebody who I felt safe with. This is someone who understood the forest and the woods and knew how to take care of children. This is a person who was very grounded. And so I started to list out all the qualities of the camp counselor, and then it helped me to understand the gift of my dream a little bit more. So when you dream about people, never rule out that it's a dream about the actual person, because you can have premonition dreams, which we'll talk about a little bit later too. But for the most part, you want to be able to decipher what is the energy of this person and what do they represent to me. And then what is the actual message of the dream based on those qualities and those forces that that person had. And you can journal too. Like, a great thing to do is to just write down the name of the person you saw, and then just write down everything that you can think about that person that you find meaningful. And then you can probably find some meaning in that. And yeah, it's not about that character, and it might only just be about a dramatic element. So sometimes we really focus in on the character that we saw, the animal that we saw, the color that we saw. But if you're getting kind of confused about what's important within that dream for you, what is the meaning, and you're really lost, try and pull out one dramatic element and something that you woke up and you felt, the moment in the dream where you had a feeling about something, and then go from there, because it's often about the dramatic element and not about all the little details, because we can really get lost in the details when we wake up in our linear mind, but it's really about the feeling of that dramatic element. And then from there, once you've done a bit of writing about either the main character or the dramatic element, you can ask yourself the question and get more clarity on, what does this dream actually mean to you personally? Number 4 is we want to understand what our subtle bodies are doing in the dream state. We want to understand our subtle bodies. And for this, I'm going to read a little bit from this is a dream journal. I'll put the link in the description. It's only $9.99 on Amazon. You can record your dreams, and there's a little bit in the front of the book about interpreting your dreams and understanding dreams. So we have 3 main layers of the subtle bodies: the physical, the etheric, and the astral. So we all know the physical body. The etheric is kind of like an energetic shell, a translucent energetic shell that's around us and with us at all times. And it's informing our physical body on what it needs to do. It's informing the cells. It's informing the processes of our organs. And it's taking impulses from higher worlds. It's kind of stepping down the energy from the higher subtle bodies. And then besides the etheric body, we have our astral body. And our astral body is once again a higher up body from the etheric body that is stepping down information and light and energy. And so that's why when we have blocks in our etheric body or blocks in our astral body, which most of us do, it's really amazing when they get cleared out, because then we get more information and light from higher worlds. So when we sleep, our awareness is outside of our physical body, and it's outside of our etheric body. So our physical and our etheric body stay lying in bed, basically stay put, and they're resting and regenerating for the next day. And then our astral body and some people call it our eye, or our eye. Basically, our astral body goes into the astral world, and it goes out and explores, and it views and experiences what the soul wants to show it. And then in the morning it comes back and comes into the physical and the etheric body again and brings that soul warmth and that information from the dream world, if we can remember, and we're lucky. We'll write it down. And so this deeper part of ourself, the astral body and the I, they exist outside of linear time. So, sometimes we have dreams of past lives, and our astral body is reviewing material from a past life because there's been something triggered in our present life that could use that information, that could use that wisdom for processing. Or it's just like there's a karma in a past life that's ripe for processing. So that astral body is totally outside of linear time, and can go and view things between different lives. It can access inspiration from long ago, and it has a cosmic warmth. It knows us. It's part of us that is beyond just this incarnation. And number 5, to kind of like piggyback on the astral body being active in the dream, we go to the astral world. So many people call this the 4th dimension. It's a non-physical dimension that informs the physical dimension. And in shamanism, we talk about the lower, the middle, and the upper world in the astral. The lower world being our shadows, our repressed memories, our repressed feelings, things that happened to us in the past that we haven't sorted out yet. Things in the lower world could be from our past life that we haven't sorted out. It's not a bad place. It is not hell. It's just a lot of unconscious material. And so sometimes the awareness heads into the lower world. And here in the West, if you have a dream and you are in a basement, if you're in the basement and you're doing something in a basement, that represents the lower world. So I've had dreams where I am cleaning up my basement, many over the years. And if you have a dream that you're sorting through things in your basement or you're cleaning up, that's a good thing. That means that you are not frightened to look at your past, you're not frightened to look at your unprocessed shadows, and you're doing your work. There is the middle world, and in the middle world, we have dreams about situations in day-to-day life. And so not so much the shadow world, but interactions with other people, issues at our job, relationships, stuff like that. That's really to do with the physical world. So that's the middle world. And if you, hold on a sec. My light went out. If you have a dream about the middle world, you might be on the main floor of a house. So any dream that you are doing something on the main floor of a house or building probably has to do with the middle world. So a lot of our dreams they're not even necessarily big messages. They're just us processing and playing out energies, situations from day-to-day life. So that's the middle world. And the upper world kind of speaks for itself. We can meet with spirit guides. We can experience soul warmth. We can experience healing messages. Some people have been in touch with angels. And it's a really nice place of rejuvenation and restoration. And if you're somebody who has been having a hard time, and you go to sleep and you wake up and you feel very refreshed, like not just physically refreshed, but refreshed deep on a soul level. Even if you don't remember your dream, you were probably in the upper world being rejuvenated. And this is a real gift when this happens because it's really a grace. It's really a grace. So whether or not you remember your dream, you'll wake up from being in the upper world with a lot of lightness and levity, and you might not understand where it's coming from. And so these are really beautiful. So that's the lower, middle, and upper world. And if you have often like a dream where you're in a house or a building and you're on the second floor or the top floor, you can probably be sure that you're having an upper world dream because the contents of the dream, the dramatic element is going to be probably something pretty light, probably something with a lot of goodness if it happens on the second or top floor of a house. And number 6 is you can decipher what type of dream you're having once you know the different categories. So this, again, from my book, reflection dreams. Often these are us playing out our anxieties through the dream world and just kind of processing out our day-to-day energy. We might see pictures from day-to-day life moving around. And they might not hold any great meaning or have any deep message, but that is just stuff that we didn't have a chance to process in the day because we were too busy. So our deeper self is working those kind of things out so that we can move on. So those are reflection dreams. Environmental dreams, these ones often don't have a huge meaning either. If there's a bang in your house, you might be in your dream and there's an explosion in your dream. And it's not a message for you, it's just your subconscious mind kind of translating the noise in the house to the dream and creating a picture of the bomb. I've had these where I saw people cooking Indian food in my dream, and when I woke up, the neighbor in the next apartment was like clearly cooking Indian food. So the environmental dreams often don't have big messages for us, but it's helpful to know that that's one type of dream that we can have. Prophetic dreams. So these ones are important. They're rarely experienced. These are premonitions. They are experienced when there's an impending event that has great significance to the dreamer. Buddhism teaches that healthy deceased loved ones and helping spirits, also called devas, keep watch over us and indicate something in our dreams when we are facing certain big problems. They try and protect us from harm. And in the West, we can think of devas as angels. So basically, think of it as helping spirits, bringing us messages through our subtle bodies about the future, about something we need to be concerned about. And often they come with an intensity or a clarity or a vividness. And it's really important to note these ones because you don't usually know they're a premonition dream until something has happened in regular life where the dream has come true. There was a dream I had a few years ago where my cousin, who I hadn't seen in years, was in a hospital bed and he was hooked up to a bunch of machines. And I didn't think anything of it. I hadn't talked to him in a long time. And then a couple of months later, I found out that he had an overdose and he was taken to the hospital, but he wasn't able to be kept alive. So at that point, I realized that what I had was actually a premonition dream, but I didn't know it at the time. And this is why it's so important to record your dreams, because you don't know if you're getting a prophetic or a premonition dream. But if that does start to happen, even if it's really infrequently, if you're making a record all the time, there's something very powerful about dream recording, about dream journaling, because even if you're somebody who doesn't have a ton of dreams or your dreams are really chaotic and confusing, something happens when you start recording your dreams where you get more dreams. And then as you keep recording, you keep getting more dreams, your dreams can become a lot more vivid and clear because you're now communicating to your subconscious that you are listening and you are watching and you are curious about any messages that might pertain to you. And so it's normally pretty confusing and chaotic at first if your dreams aren't clear. You're just kind of clearing the way. So recording your dreams is just kind of like sending a message, indicating to your soul that you're ready to listen and you're ready to write things down. It's important to write things down as soon as you wake up. Even if you think you're going to remember for the rest of the day, you probably won't. So in that first couple of minutes where the dream is really fresh, just trying to write down the characters you saw, the dramatic element and the feeling that you had, and try and get that down. So yeah, that is the different types of dreams. And with the prophetic or premonition dreams, sometimes in that same flavor, we can get dreams about other people, about situations in the world maybe that are true about that person. So sometimes we have a dream and we find out like the same day that something has happened in the world or in the life of somebody we know, and it happened in our dream last night. So it can be like almost like a parallel a parallel reality dream. So you're not necessarily seeing what's happening in the future, but you're seeing what's happening somewhere else in real time. So I would classify those under prophetic dreams, and those are really special to have because they are evidence that that our astral body that goes out traveling and checking out what's going on at night is coming back with information. That's something to really celebrate if you've ever had that happen. So please write things down. And the next one is, I love this one, by the way. Relaxation is key and escapism is not bad. Relaxation is key and escapism is not bad. So if we want to really be in touch with our subconscious, if we really want to get clear and vivid dreams, one of the number one things we can do is learn to be relaxed in the day. Learn to be relaxed in the daytime. And that is easier said than done. But I think that as spiritual students, we must learn to relax ourselves because spiritual information, whether it's premonitions, whether it's inspiration, impulses, they come to us, they come to our physical body through these subtle bodies, like through the astral, through the etheric, and to our physical body. And then that inspiration or creativity, those ideas come to our brain, to our mind through the nervous system. So our nervous system is really, really important in this communication system, included with the dream world. And if we don't have a healthy nervous system and we aren't able to relax, we're not going to be able to get the messages from the subconscious and from higher worlds. And so we can learn everything we can read all the books and watch all the videos and know how to answer all the questions. But at the end of the day, we want to be experiencers. We don't want to sit and listen to other people's dreams and other people's messages and other people's channelings in their meditations. We want to be able to do this ourselves. That's the goal. You don't want to have to listen to somebody else for the rest of your life. So if you don't know where to start and you really feel like this is something you want to do, if you can learn to relax your nervous system and prioritize nervous system regulation, then you're more grounded and you can receive these messages without confusion and without stress. And these impulses can make their way to you. So relaxation is key. And the other part of the last one here is escapism is not bad. Escapism is not bad. I think escapism gets a bad rap. And as long as we're integrating, if you're somebody who needs to spend a lot of time in quiet, if you're somebody who's really connected to your dream world, if you're somebody who loves meditating and just really enjoys being in that space, as long as you're integrating the ideas and the lessons that are coming through, as long as you are making use of that time by pouring that extra energy into your life and into your environment, escapism is important. Escapism is important because if you are 100% of the time saturated and surrounded by stressful people, stressful media, honking horns, and a fast-paced lifestyle, you're not going to be able to relax. And if you're not going to be able to relax, how are you ever going to connect with your subconscious and what your soul wants to show you and the higher worlds? And so we have now in front of us the initiation of holding our center and learning to relax in the middle of a very fast-paced world that is extremely stressful and where there are a lot of worries and fears on the horizon coming at all different directions. So this is the initiation. Can you stay grounded and relaxed enough in your nervous system while you're here in order to be in connection with your soul and your higher self? And I believe that requires some escapism into your meditation, some escapism into your dreams, some escapism into the spiritual practices that bring you connection and relaxation. That is going to be the way forward, or else if we're 100% of the time in that chaos, we are going to go down with it. And if you're watching this video this far, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can see the people that are around you who are less grounded than yourself, and who are completely saturated in the online world and all the fears that are existing there. And so that's the alternative. There'll be a time that comes where we're going to have to choose. We won't be able to walk the middle ground. We're going to have to totally prioritize our relaxation as well as our escapism, bringing something back with us to integrate. You know, in the past, it was always the shaman, the medicine man, the guru, the mystic who was outside of society, whose life was dedicated to their spiritual practices, to fasting, to vision quest, to all these things, in order to leave this world, be in the higher realms, take journeys to the lower realms, and bring back information, bring back messages for the community. And now more and more people are going through spiritual awakening, and they're realizing that to some degree they're able to access these states, even if it's only in the beginning phases, and they're able to bring something back for themselves at least. And so we're going to have to develop the ability to do this in a responsible way. And again, I can't say it enough, relaxation is going to be the key. Nervous system regulation is going to be the key if you want to go forward and don't want to be pulled down by the swamp of what's happening everywhere else. So lastly, I'm going to just leave you with a couple of tips to be aware of to develop your dream practice. Get a dream diary. Like I said, you can order mine or you can have your own journal. But I'm telling you guys, like, I've got like all these pages that I've filled in. And I love looking back and seeing what the patterns are and just kind of seeing where I'm at. And it's helped so much to get more dreams. So keep it beside your bed, keep a pen there, record your dreams. That's my number one. Keep an eye out for peak times of every month. So for women, menstruation is a time where if we can isolate ourselves and get a few quiet days with less social commitments, less interactions with other people, we are a little bit more wide open energetically. We're a little bit of an open portal for good and bad things. You know what I mean? So we want to be a portal that's open to our soul and not everybody else's energy and everybody else's problems during menstruation. And that's going to give us a better chance to be in touch with our soul in the dream world. So take advantage of your menstruation days and the days leading up to it. Full moons. Many people find that they are more able to catch a dream during the full moon time and the days leading up to it. So take advantage of the full moons as well as the solstices and the equinoxes. And in the morning, if anyone wants to listen, speak about your dream. That's kind of similar to writing down your dreams. You are speaking about your dream, so you're kind of like solidifying it, as well as indicating to the subconscious that it's important to you to receive a dream. So if anyone's into listening, speak about your dreams if you feel like you're ready. And then mugwort tea. Mugwort tea is a herb that it's very subtle. It's very subtle and it doesn't work for everybody. But drinking mugwort tea can, for some people, really open up the dream world. So if you're somebody that loves plants and is sensitive to the subtle qualities of plants, I would really recommend mugwort tea. And yeah, I think that's it. So if you like this video, please like and comment. If you have any other tips that I haven't covered, please drop them in the comments. And if you want to order Dream Diary, it's called Diary of a Dreamer. It's on Amazon, and I will put the link in the description. So yeah, thanks again for being here. Thanks for watching, and journey well.